Today, I will be making pixel art. So I went onto Google and I searched Google Images for pixel art. And once I found different images that I liked, I put them on a Google Slides slideshow and arranged about 5 or 6 per page, or sometimes just 3, depending on the sizes of the pixel art. And once I had all of these printed out in color, I cut them up and have them for my students to access and use. It even helps to laminate them so that they can be used over and over again by various students. I'm going to go ahead and pick one of these pixel art pictures, and using a piece of grid paper, I am going to recreate one of them. I decided that I think I wanted to use the flamingo here. It's nice and simple. It really depends on how much complexity you want in your picture, but I thought this would be a good one. Now, in order to make sure that my picture will fit on my grid, I need to count across to make sure I know the number of squares across and from the top to the bottom that my image has. That way I can kind of plan how it will fit on my grid paper. So this one, for example, is 8 wide by 20 squares tall. So I want to make sure to using my pencil just to kind of make a little mark about where the top edge and the bottom edge of my flamingo will be. And then the same thing goes from side to side. That way you can kind of plan and measure out how it will look on your grid paper. Now I'm going to go ahead and start by using a marker to draw in some of the main parts of my flamingo. And it doesn't really matter where you start, but I kind of like starting at maybe the highest point or the lowest point to kind of figure out from there where to go. And I like to kind of sketch out kind of where my squares are going to be and then color them in. Although I've had some people just start coloring square by square. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to start with the foot here. I've got my 2 colors and I'm going to count how many squares are orange, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that amount in my picture here. So this is the main leg that's standing and it covers that many squares. And then I also have a couple here for the foot of the leg, so I'll put that in there as well. Then I'm going to count how many the little cross part is where the other leg kind of crosses over this one. And I'm going to add the squares there to connect those. And I'm going to continue moving like this through my picture to color in each section, draw each section first, and then color each section in. So I kind of like plotting out where my squares are going to go first, and then I will use my marker to color in those squares with the correct color. So now my legs have been drawn out. I'm going to go ahead and fill them in with color. The markers I'm using here are really nice because they have a thin tip and a thicker tip, so that I can use the thicker tip to color in where those legs go. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so that you kind of get the idea of how I work. So now that I have put the legs in, I'm going to do the same thing with the bodies. So I'm just kind of paying attention to where each of the squares goes and making sure that it connects with the right sections. I'm drawing very carefully the outline with the right color, and then I will go ahead and fill it in with my marker. I still have to add the beak on at the top, so I'm going to go ahead and do that by grabbing my yellow again and drawing that beak in. Now that I have the basic shape done, I wanted to go ahead and give a background image to my picture. So I'm going to go ahead and think about where a pink flamingo might be hanging out. And of course, I know flamingos like to be by water or a pond, so I'm starting with kind of some grass-like shapes, also using the grid to make them look kind of boxy or grid-like. And then I'm also going to add some water hanging out by the flamingo. I think I'm going to have the flamingo on the shore, but I want to have a pond close by. So I'm just going to use my markers to add a believable scene around whatever image I chose to make. This can be just kind of a nice addition for your project. I'm going to color in this water down below here, and I'm going to think about what else I could add. I do need something for my flamingo to be standing on, so I'm going to go ahead and add some ground with this brown, being very careful to go kind of around my flamingo as I do this, around my water line, around the foot, so it looks like the flamingo standing on the ground. You could also get creative and add another flamingo, or maybe like a little baby flamingo or something as well. I'm going to finish off my background here by adding in some more grass on this side of the flamingo to kind of help close it off and frame it in. And I'm really liking the way this is coming together. So you can see that it's kind of a fun, different project. You can try out your pixel art, and then of course you can add some other fun elements to it as well. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe down below, and please make sure to visit Elke Art for more fun art tutorials. Have a good one.